Have you ever caught a faint, unpleasant smell, like urine, even after showering, changing clothes, and doing everything right? If you're over 60, you're not alone. Thousands of women quietly deal with this exact issue, often without realizing what's really causing it. The truth is, a few everyday habits might be working against you and your hygiene. But here's the good news. Simple changes can make a huge difference. In this video, we're breaking down 7 surprising mistakes that could be leaving you less than fresh, and the easy, doctor-recommended fixes that can restore your confidence and comfort. You'll wish you learned these sooner. Light bladder leakage goes unnoticed. Let's talk about something most women don't bring up at lunch with friends: light bladder leakage. It's not a full-blown accident. It's the kind of small, unexpected leak that happens when you laugh, sneeze, or move a little too quickly. At first, it feels like no big deal. You might chalk it up to drinking too much tea or just getting older. But over time, those little dribbles start to add up on your clothes, your skin, and your surroundings. Here's the thing. Even tiny leaks can leave behind trace amounts of urine that soak into your underwear or pants. And if those garments aren't changed or washed immediately, that moisture creates the perfect environment for odor-causing bacteria. The worst part: you might not even notice the smell yourself. Our sense of smell naturally weakens with age, but those around you? They probably do. I'll never forget the moment it hit me. I was at a family gathering, and my daughter-in-law gently suggested I change my sweater. She said it smelled like the couch. I was mortified. I had just showered that morning, but I had tossed on the same pants from the day before, assuming they were clean enough. Turns out they weren't. What most people don't realize is that leaks, even if they dry quickly, can leave behind residue that clings to fabrics, especially synthetic ones. And when those clothes are reworn, the odor builds layer by layer. No amount of perfume or body spray can cover it up. The good news: there are easy solutions that don't involve drastic changes to your lifestyle. Moisture-wicking underwear made specifically for light leaks, or ultra-thin incontinence liners, can be absolute game changers. They're discreet, comfortable, and designed to keep you feeling dry and confident all day. Once I made the switch, I felt like myself again. I could hug people without worrying, or sit in public without second-guessing if someone could smell me. And if you feel embarrassed to need them, don't be. Light bladder leakage is extremely common, especially post-menopause. What's important is how you manage it. Protect your hygiene, your dignity, and your confidence. Don't let a few drops control how you feel about yourself. You deserve to feel clean, fresh, and worry-free every single day. Age-related body odor from skin chemistry. You might be doing everything right, showering daily, wearing fresh clothes, even using deodorant religiously, and still notice a strange, musty scent that clings to you. Here's the truth that few women talk about. Your body chemistry changes as you age, and with it, so does your natural scent. It's not your imagination, it's science. After the age of 40 or 50, your body begins producing a compound called 2-non-enol. This substance forms when fatty acids on the skin break down due to oxidation, and it gives off a greasy, grassy, slightly old smell. What's tricky is that most standard soaps and deodorants aren't designed to neutralize this particular compound. That's why, no matter how hard you scrub, that underlying odor might linger. Hormonal shifts during menopause also play a major role. Lower estrogen levels can affect sweat production and your skin's pH balance, creating an environment where certain bacteria thrive, especially in warm, enclosed areas like under the arms, between skin folds, or in the pelvic region. These bacteria interact with your sweat and oils, amplifying body odor in ways you didn't experience when you were younger. And here's the kicker. While your scent changes, your ability to smell it may not keep up. As we age, our sense of smell naturally dulls. so you may not notice a thing, but others, especially younger people with sharper senses, probably do. So what can you do about it? First, ditch the harsh soaps and strong fragrances. Instead, opt for mild, pH-balanced cleansers that won't strip your skin. Look for products that specifically target non-enal or support healthy skin microbiomes. Gentle exfoliation a few times a week can also help remove buildup that traps odor. Also, pay attention to fabrics. Clothing made from synthetic materials tends to trap oils and bacteria. Switching to breathable, natural fibers like cotton can help your skin stay dry and odor-free longer. The truth is, this isn't about vanity. It's about understanding what your body needs now. Just like your skincare or diet changes with age, your hygiene habits should too. A few small tweaks can make a big difference in how you smell, how you feel, and how confidently you carry yourself. Aging may change your chemistry, but it doesn't have to change your self-assurance. Harsh soaps or fragranced cleansers. For years, many of us believed that the stronger the soap, the cleaner we'd be. The more it lathered and the stronger it smelled, lavender, ocean breeze, or coconut splash, the more effective it must be, right? But if you're over 60 and struggling with persistent odor, those heavily fragranced products might actually be making things worse. As we age, our skin becomes thinner, drier, and more sensitive, especially in intimate areas. After menopause, hormonal changes reduce the skin's natural oil production and can disrupt your body's delicate pH balance. The result? Skin that's more prone to irritation and a microbiome that can shift in ways that make odor more noticeable. Most commercial soaps and body washes are loaded with chemicals, dyes, and synthetic fragrances. They're designed to leave a scent behind, but not necessarily to support the health of your skin. In fact, many of them strip away your skin's natural protective barrier, leading to dryness, itching, or inflammation. Worse, they can throw off the balance of good bacteria that help keep odor in check. I used to scrub with my favorite floral-scented wash every morning, thinking I was doing myself a favor. But by mid-afternoon, I'd catch a musty or sour smell, despite being freshly bathed. It wasn't until my doctor pointed it out that I realized I was actually damaging my skin with the very products I thought were helping. Her advice? Ditch the harsh cleansers and switch to a gentle, unscented soap, or in sensitive areas, just warm water. I was skeptical at first. How could warm water alone keep me clean? But after a few days of making the switch, I noticed a big change. My skin felt calmer, less irritated, and, most importantly, that midday odor was gone. Sometimes, staying fresh isn't about masking your body's scent with more perfume. It's about supporting your skin's natural ability to stay clean and balanced. If you're dealing with stubborn odors that seem to linger even after a shower, take a look at the soap on your shelf. It might smell amazing, but if it's disrupting your skin's ecosystem, it could be doing more harm than good. Gentle care, especially as we age, goes a long way. Your skin doesn't need stronger, it needs smarter. Worn too long liners, pads, or undergarments. If you're using liners or pads to manage light bladder leaks, or just for extra comfort, you're already on the right track. But here's the mistake many women make: putting one on in the morning and forgetting about it all day. It might feel dry, it might look clean, but beneath the surface, it's quietly collecting moisture, bacteria, and odor. Even the best absorbent products have a limit. Liners and pads trap tiny amounts of urine, sweat, and natural oils throughout the day. And while it may not feel wet to you, that moist environment is exactly what odor-causing bacteria love. The longer it stays in contact with your skin, the more likely it is to create irritation, infection, or that unpleasant sour smell that just won't go away. I used to wear the same liner from breakfast to bedtime, thinking I was being frugal. Why change it if it still felt okay? But by the evening, I'd notice a faint smell that made me uncomfortable in social situations. I'd question whether my clothes were clean or whether someone nearby could smell it too. It wasn't until I brought it up with my doctor that I realized how much of an impact this habit was having. She explained that liners and pads should be changed every 3 to 4 hours, even if they don't seem full. It's not about wasting money. It's about protecting your hygiene, your skin, and your peace of mind. The solution? Build a habit of refreshing your liner midday. Carry extras in a discreet pouch in your purse or bag. You can also explore reusable, washable cloth liners that are better for your skin and your wallet. They're soft, breathable, and easy to swap out discreetly during the day. And don't forget about your underwear. If it's even slightly damp from leaks or sweat, swap it out. Re-wearing moist undergarments, even just around the house, lets bacteria stick around and multiply. These small hygiene choices make a huge difference in how you feel. Freshness doesn't come from spraying on perfume or hoping for the best. It comes from being proactive. Change more often than you think you need to. Your skin will thank you, and so will your confidence. Synthetic underwear traps. Moisture. For years, I thought I had cracked the code on comfort. Smooth, stretchy underwear that hugged my body just right, came in cute patterns, and barely showed under clothes. Most of them were made from synthetic fabrics like nylon, polyester, or spandex blends. They were affordable, easy to wash, and honestly, they looked good. But despite showering daily and using deodorant, I couldn't shake a faint, musty odor that seemed to follow me. I blamed everything but my underwear, my detergent, my diet, even the furniture. But the real problem? Those synthetic fabrics were trapping heat and moisture right where I least needed it. Here's the issue. Synthetic materials might feel soft, but they don't breathe well. They hold in warmth and lock in moisture, especially in the pelvic area. When you combine that with natural sweat, light bladder leaks, or postmenopausal changes in skin and pH, it creates a perfect storm for bacterial growth, and that's where odor begins. Unlike cotton, synthetics don't allow air to circulate, meaning moisture gets trapped and bacteria thrive in that warm, damp environment. I didn't realize how much damage it was doing until I switched to 100% cotton underwear, on my doctor's recommendation. At first, I rolled my eyes. Cotton sounded boring and old-fashioned, something my grandmother would wear. But I gave it a try, and within a few days, the difference was undeniable. Cotton is naturally breathable. It absorbs moisture and allows airflow, keeping the skin dry and preventing the buildup of odor. I didn't feel damp halfway through the day anymore. That lingering scent? Gone. And best of all, I found cotton options that were just as comfortable and flattering as my synthetic ones, no sacrifice in style at all. This one simple change transformed how I felt about myself. I no longer worried about how I smelled when leaning in for a hug or sitting in a warm room. I felt clean, dry, and confident, just like I used to. If you're still holding on to synthetic underwear because it's what you're used to, do yourself a favor. Try switching to breathable cotton options. You might be surprised how much of a difference it makes. Sometimes the smallest fabric change can restore the biggest piece of your confidence. Not drinking enough water. If you've ever cut back on water to avoid frequent bathroom trips, you're not alone. Many women, especially over 60, see it as a practical way to manage bladder leaks or inconvenient urges. After all, less in means less out, right? But here's the truth. Drinking less water might seem smart in the moment, but over time, it can actually make odor problems worse. When you don't drink enough fluids, your urine becomes highly concentrated. It darkens in color and takes on a much stronger, sharper smell, one that lingers on your skin, your clothing, and even your furniture after the smallest leak. You might not notice it right away, especially if your sense of smell has dulled with age, but the people around you often can. I learned this the hard way. I thought limiting water would help me stay dry and in control. But then I noticed that even tiny leaks left behind an overwhelming, sour scent. I was constantly checking my clothes, worried that others could detect something I couldn't. It felt like no matter how much I showered or freshened up, the smell would return by afternoon. What I didn't realize was that my body wasn't the problem, my habits were. Once I started drinking more water, everything changed. I didn't guzzle gallons. I simply made a point to sip throughout the day. One glass with each meal, another here and there. Within a few days, my urine was clearer, less odorous, and leaks, when they happened, didn't smell nearly as strong. And the benefits didn't stop there. My energy improved, my skin looked brighter, and even digestion got easier. Staying hydrated helped every system in my body, including the one responsible for flushing out waste. Yes, it might mean you need to use the restroom more often, but that's manageable with a few smart strategies. Use absorbent liners, schedule bathroom breaks when you're out, and strengthen your pelvic floor with exercises. What you'll gain in comfort, cleanliness, and confidence far outweighs the inconvenience. The bottom line? Water isn't your enemy. It's your secret weapon. Don't deprive your body of what it needs to function properly. Staying hydrated is one of the simplest, most powerful things you can do to stay fresh, clean, and confident at any age. Sedentary habits and skipped freshening. There's a quiet joy in slow mornings, lounging in your favorite robe, sipping coffee, reading, or catching up on your favorite shows. After decades of busy routines, retirement can feel like a well-earned exhale. But here's something few of us consider. Long hours of sitting, especially without regular freshening up, can slowly create the perfect storm for unwanted odor. When you sit for extended periods, especially in warm, cozy clothes or on cushioned chairs, you create a warm, enclosed environment in the pelvic area. That combination of body heat, sweat, skin oils, and possibly light bladder leaks becomes a breeding ground for odor-causing bacteria. And because it's subtle and gradual, you might not notice anything at first. But over time, it builds, on your skin, in your clothing, and even on the surfaces you sit on. I didn't connect the dots until one moment changed everything. My granddaughter, sitting on my lap during a visit, innocently wrinkled her nose and said, "Grandma, you smell like something wet." She wasn't being rude, just honest. But her words hit hard. I'd showered that morning, worn clean clothes. So what was the problem? The answer was simple. I'd spent most of the day sitting without moving much or freshening up. Even though I felt clean, my body had been quietly stewing in warmth and moisture for hours, and the bacteria had done what they do best: multiply and create odor. That day, I decided to change my routine. Nothing dramatic, just a few small, consistent habits. I started standing up every hour, even if only for a short stretch or a trip to refill my water. I also added a quick midday hygiene check. A gentle wash with warm water and a clean cloth, especially in intimate areas. It took just a minute, but the freshness lasted all day. And perhaps most importantly, I began changing into fresh clothes daily, even if I hadn't gone out or broken a sweat. Because comfort doesn't mean skipping cleanliness, especially when our bodies become more sensitive with age. If your days are slower now, embrace the peace. But don't forget your body still needs movement and care. Regular freshening isn't about vanity. It's about dignity, self-respect, and the quiet confidence that comes from knowing you're taking good care of yourself. Laundry oversights. Let's be honest, when you're home most of the day, it's easy to slip into the habit of re-wearing comfy clothes. That favorite pair of lounge pants still looks clean. Your nightgown from last night still smells fine. Why toss it in the laundry if it doesn't seem dirty? But here's the hidden truth. Even clothes that appear fresh can silently harbor odor-causing bacteria, especially in the areas that matter most. As we age, our bodies go through subtle changes, more sweating in certain areas, more skin oil buildup, and for many women, light bladder leakage. These changes leave behind invisible traces on your underwear, sleepwear, and loungewear. And synthetic fabrics like polyester or spandex, they're the worst offenders. These materials trap moisture and don't breathe well, making it harder to wash out smells completely, even when you do run them through the laundry. I used to think my clothes were clean enough. If they passed the sniff test, back on the hanger they went. But I started to notice a stubborn, musty odor that lingered, no matter how many showers I took. It wasn't until I overhauled my laundry habits that I realized my so-called clean clothes were holding on to old bacteria, especially in the seams, waistbands, and hidden fabric layers. Doctors and hygiene experts agree. Undergarments and close-fitting clothes need special care. That means washing them after every use, even if they look fine. Use hot water whenever possible and add a splash of white vinegar or baking soda to the cycle. Both help kill odor-causing bacteria. And always make sure your items are completely dry before wearing or storing them. Damp clothes are a fast track to mildew and mustiness. I also stopped mixing intimate wear with towels or regular laundry. Instead, I started washing underwear, sleepwear, and lounge clothes separately, sometimes even soaking them before washing to break down buildup. Yes, it's a little more work, but the payoff? Huge. Now, when I get dressed in the morning, I feel truly clean, inside and out. No second guessing if I smell off. No subtle discomfort from damp fabric. Just fresh, soft clothes that support the care I'm giving my body. Remember, your laundry routine is part of your hygiene routine. Clothes are like a second skin. If they're not clean, you're not fully clean. A few extra minutes in the laundry room can bring back confidence you didn't realize you'd lost. Taking care of your body in your golden years isn't just about hygiene. It's about confidence, comfort, and self-respect. Small changes can make a big difference. If you found these tips helpful, be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you never miss a video that helps you feel your best every single day.